Alright, I gotta take a cold shot first, no warming up. Completely missed the stump. Missed the stump again. Alright guys, I'm in the woods again. It is late April. We still have snow, but not much. It's almost all gone. The forest is super wet. I'm in northern Wisconsin, which is the northern forests ecoregion. The weather is supposed to be cloudy and rainy. Chance of thunderstorms. So the plan here today is to do some stump shooting and stalking and working on my outdoor skills. This is going to be a two-part video, and then the second part I'm going to go back to my vehicle and get my gear and do a camp out and spend the night. But I'm going to spend the day with just my bow and arrow. So the first thing I want to talk about is stalking through the forest. There's an awful lot of life out here, and you're never going to see any of it unless you learn to adapt to the environment and slow down and stop disturbing it. So my goal today is to practice moving through the woods. I can't find a lot on the internet about it. Everything is about stalking and still hunting, which is the same concept, but kind of with a different goal. So my goal today is to just practice moving through the forest undetected. That's what I want to do. My number one interest is to learn how to be at home in the wilderness, and I would say that's a part of it. Not disturbing everything, you know, being comfortable out in all weather conditions. That's why I always carry all my gear with me. I don't say, oh, I'm not going to use this item on this trip, or I'm not going to use that item, so I leave it at home. No, I like to prepare, to practice, to have everything. Like if I was going on a short trip or a long trip, I bring the same stuff, just different amounts of food. So that being said, I'm out here just going to do some stump shooting. I'm going to learn how to shoot my bow through the forest. You know, different distances, different positions, different everything. A real world environment. And I'm also going to try to scout the area out. There's about a square mile here of national forest that I want to scout out and just see what it looks like. There's a creek that runs through it. And I'm going to just spend the day working on my skills. So, stay with me, guys. Let's get started. Alright guys, I haven't gone very far. I'm in the middle of like a swamp now. I knew I had to cross a swamp. There's some high ground. So basically, let me lay out the area for you. Alright guys, I haven't gone very far and I've already learned a ton of things. Let me lay out the area for you. So basically there's a couple of high grounds. I think 3 or 4 of them, I would say. And around those are all separated by swamp, and there's also a creek that divides them up too. So my plan for today was to kind of make it to each high ground. So right now I'm in the middle of that first swamp crossing. And what I have learned already is that I can't do anything with my finger tabs on. So I have to take those off to grab my compass and do anything. Second is, it is really hard to move quietly. I saw some pretty good movement, a branch moving pretty good, low evergreen branch. So I'm guessing I jumped out a rabbit, snowshoe hare, because I didn't hear any bird flutter, unless it was like something different, but I don't know. I'm seeing lots of deer sign, lots of deer poop, and I saw some other poop. I don't know what it is. I didn't take a picture. Yeah, so it's very hard to move. These binoculars aren't going to do a whole lot for me right now because of how much I'm struggling to move. So I'm not being quiet. I'm not being undetected at all. It's just so hard. I know that you have to keep in mind there's times when to stalk, and there's times when to just move. And you have to recognize that, and you have to stop moving, and you have to go quietly. And just going through just the pure growth of this vegetation is so tough that I don't think I could stalk through here at all. If I started again right now, I would take as minimal as possible. And I already feel like I didn't take a whole lot, but I mean, I wouldn't take the binoculars, and I would try not to take a pack. I feel like I should learn with just the basics, my body, basically just getting my body through the forest, and then start adding on to it. But yeah, here's a look at the area. And where you see the snow, it can be a foot deep of snow. And sometimes and the biggest challenge right now is walking on the snow, because it's almost a foot deep when there is snow, you know, where the mound is, and you kind of get on top of it and then you don't punch through right away. So I've been punching my foot through, like my toe, and then bring my heel down just to break through it, because otherwise as soon as I put my weight on it, it punches through. And then where your foot lands is probably not flat, right? So your foot lands like this, so like you're losing your balance constantly. So it's pretty tough, but it's alright, we're learning. So I'm going southwest. I should be pretty close to that high ground, but I don't know, I don't see it. Let's take a shot rolling down here. There's a stump, end of a stump right here, only like 10 yards away. I hit it, the arrow deflected. Put another one in it. Ooh, that one was low, but it went right where the first arrow did. I think I'm looking like this. Okay guys, I'm kind of out of the swamp. I think I'm getting out of the swamp. I had to cheat and use the GPS and the phone to figure out where I was. Just because, oh, I don't know. I didn't have to. I chose to. But anyway, so I kept heading southwest, and I think now I'm starting to get out of the swamp. You can see all the undergrowth here, but let's take a shot. Look at these cedar trees, they're huge. This one's split. Oh, this. It's like two of them growing together. Just split, basically. This thing is huge. Alright guys, just a quick update. I'm on top of a hill here, and from what I figured from my map and where I actually opened up my GPS, there was a big difference from where I thought I was and where I am. I'm actually only like 100 yards from the creek to my east, and I thought I was west basically another 200 or 300 yards. So the creek is like, should be right down this hill, but it's tough moving, and it's 2 hours in, and I figured, and I've only gone, I don't know, I'm only like 400 meters from my vehicle, but I didn't like, it's not a straight line. Right, I came, I don't know, I can't explain it. It'll be easier to show you than it would be to try to explain it, but yeah, so I'm gonna head back west and get to where I thought I was now, because I want to check out that area. But it is tough moving in here. I thought I was going to be crossing the creek and checking out like 4 different high grounds. I don't think it's going to be even close to possible. I'm going to hit, I still haven't even gotten to the first one, basically. So I'm going to head over to that one and just taking a quick break and having a snack. My trail mix. Nailed it. Oh, come on. Boom. Right where I was looking. Man, that feels good when you hit your spot. That's the beauty of the traditional archery. First one is, the lower one is what I was aiming for. Both right on line though. Look at this sign. I don't know what that is, that's big. Wolf is my guess. It's a gray wolf. I'll look around the area, look for some tracks, see if I can find anything. It looks old. It looks like there's some fresh stuff, fresher here than here, but it's all the same, probably. Perfect shot. Nailed that stump. This is the first open ground I found all day. I am super excited. Let's have some fun. I'm going to stalk up this hill in front of me and then see what it looks like, see if I can see any animals. But then I'm gonna do some stump shooting where I can finally walk. Oh my god, I'm super happy now. Man, it was so thick everywhere. I've been out here for, oh, let's see, 9, 10, 11, at least 2.5 to 3 hours. And the whole time it's just been thick brush, stomping through the snow all the way up to my, way past my ankles in water, and slow going. No landmarks because you're in a swamp and you can't see 20 feet. But I just took a shot off camera and I nailed it. It was longer than most of my other shots so far today. That's one thing I read, was you build confidence. You don't go out and start shooting at like 20, 30 yards. Because then what you can do is shoot like 5 and 10 yards. And then you build confidence. It's like, yeah, I can hit whatever I want now. It's just a psychological game. But I'm feeling good. I'm gonna start shooting a little bit longer distances now. Alright, let's try a long one. This is, I don't even know how far. Like 40 yards, 50 yards, I don't know, 45, 30 to 50. I hit it. 2 for 2 or not? Oh, that was the spot I was looking at. Oh, that's fun. I'll pace it off quick. "28 yards, not as far as I thought, but it was downhill. Just to the side. Both misses, same spot, just to the right. I leaned out around a tree as I shot, and then both arrows went the same direction I was leaning. First one's the one that counts. So I was hoping to demonstrate more stalking and still hunting techniques today, but basically what I've learned is I need to learn a lot more before I go around telling people how to do it, because I really don't know how to do it. I know with the footwork, one thing I can demonstrate, right, is you keep, it's like a 3-step process the way I see it. So you take your one foot and you feel the ground, not put weight on it, just feel if there's something under your step, and then you put your weight on it, you move your center of gravity over this leg, and then you pick up your other one and you feel the ground. So there's 2 types of feeling the ground, right? There's actually stepping on it, putting weight on it, but you can't do that. First you have to feel with your foot. And one thing that I found is you're supposed to use a boot with a low heel, and and not a super thick sole. So this is actually a pretty good footwear. It's got a narrow sole, no big heel, so I can actually feel pretty good, right? It's not a big rigid sole. So that's the concept. That much I know. The problem is I'm here in the open. I have 0 cover. Doesn't matter how silent I am, any movement is going to be seen by any animal. So I need to learn how to do that, but I also need to be using cover, and the only place that there's cover is like brush across. So here's more cover, but now how do I move silently through this? There's branches and stuff everywhere, so I'm always like pushing sticks and like, I don't know, I have to bust my way through, I guess is what I'm saying. And I haven't learned how to do that yet. So there's a balance, right? You have to choose the right direction. You don't go through the brush, you go around it. But there's brush everywhere. What do I do? And this snow, I can't be quiet at all. Now, I mean, look at this. How am I supposed to move through this without making noise? That's what I'm still trying to learn. So maybe you understand what I'm saying. There's a balance. I understand the answer is that there's a balance. You don't move through that thick stuff silently. That's the thing. You're doing it all wrong. So you have to choose your route. This is a thick forest region. You have to choose your route. You can't just go wherever you want. You have to read the land. Take your steps, plan your route. Eyes always up, looking for movement. But I don't know, I'm a long way to go before I'm going to be walking around spotting animals. That's for sure. Here's my creek, guys. I could hear the water running I'm on my way back to the vehicle. I'm gonna grab my pack with all my camping gear, but I could hear the water running, so it wasn't far, so I came over here to take a peek. And this has got to be the creek. I didn't know I was that close to it. It could just be like a spring thing that adds to the creek. It might not be the main creek, I don't know. But certainly water moving here. Pretty cool. Pretty thick spot. It's pretty thick getting through that swamp. But I did better the second time coming out than I did going in. Alright guys, I made it back to my vehicle. It's let's see, it's 1:30. The GPS marked me at, I think it was over 2 kilometers. I can show you guys the route. So now I have a bit of a decision to make. The whole area I was just in is pretty much a swamp right now. There is high ground, but I need to cross swamps to get to it. So now I'm debating, what do I do? And if I stay close to the road here, it's not quite a swamp yet, but it's all big red pines. There's not a lot of hardwoods to burn or anything. There's not a lot of anything really. It's an open pine forest that quickly transitions into like a thick alder thicket, which then quickly transitions into a swamp. So I'm either staying like right by the highway here, which I don't really want to do, or I'm backpacking like quite a ways in through the swamp with my big giant backpack, which I don't want to do either. So now I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'll check in with you guys when we have a decision. I think I'm going to look at, maybe I go somewhere else.